Got Mr. Joshua Denny here. We welcome to our Wednesday night Secret Elite webinar. We are very, 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 very excited. I know we've got a couple different platforms that are going on here. We've got live from our Google Hangout, which is our old service that we are moving on to our Facebook Live, which is going on right now. So I'm very, very excited about our content here today. Josh, you want to kind of tell us a little bit about what's going on? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going on to our Secret Elite homepage, as you see here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to pull up the live feed from our secret page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sharing it, okay, with my secret agents. I'm going to be tagging secret agents, all that stuff. Obviously, I'm only do that for a quick second here while Josh gets us started because I want you guys to be able to go out there. So get onto the secret homepage, share, tag all of your agents because you want to make sure that they get connected with this on a weekly basis through this information. So we'll see you in a second.
Excellent. Hey, guys. So always a pleasure to be here with Jesse McPherson and all of you that are logging in. I can't see the Facebook Live guys right now because you guys are, anyway, the camera's facing the good angle and the comments are this way. But feel free to comment away. And on the YouTube channel, again, we're going to be moving away from that onto Facebook Live here. We'll always be there on the Secret Elite Facebook group page. So just make sure you make a note of that. We are going to be continuing that process and be moving away from the webinar platform and the YouTube Live. Anyway, hi, Dan, Yessie, Melissa. We've got Travis. We got Regina. Where y'all from? We got New York in the house, San Diego. Hey, Chantel, glad to have you there. Colorado, Idaho. Let's see. We've got Calgary, Canada. We got Yuma, Arizona. Glad to have you guys all here. Of course, on the Facebook Live, keep going with that awesome happiness as well. Let's see. All right, we got North Carolina in the house. All right. So we have a great webinar lined up this evening, or Facebook Live, wherever you're at. We're going to be talking about structuring your binary. We're going to be talking about compensation plan, but really how to maximize that in the structuring of your business. And this is some of the things I learned early on that helped me be able to genuinely move through the ranks relatively quickly because I understood what the value is of each person who comes in and kind of how to communicate that information effectively and how to leverage the build. Okay, and there's an important process that can help you make a lot more money a lot faster, and I think importantly help those that you're bringing onto the business, position them to win and give them incentive to help them kind of run through the ranks too, if you will. So Ali, Mike, glad to have you guys here. Let's see, we've got all sorts of happiness going on here. All right, I see Jesse, you're going crazy here with the sharing. That's awesome. You guys should be too, by the way. If you're not sharing this with your agents, you're missing out. Now, one of the things I learned a long time ago was it's better to, if you can be a master promoter, if you can get the information in front of more people, you're going to be able to win faster. One of the things I did early on, I know Jesse did, is we got really good at getting people in front of the information to allow them to make the decisions for themselves. So it's very important to do that. Be consistent with that as you start to build your team to make sure that you're always connecting them. Remember, a lot of us, when we're new, it's so new to us, we're not used to it. And I think sometimes after we've been around for a while, we kind of naturally assume that our new people that we've just introduced to the opportunity would just naturally be getting on to the Facebook Lives. Of course, you sent them a link, you sent them a text, they should know by now, but they don't. A lot of us, we need to have that constant reminder. I know I do too. I need to, have that reminded consistently until it's a pattern, until it's habit. Okay, habits can make or break us, right? They build empires and they crumble empires. It's habit. I heard it said a long time ago, it's either discipline or neglect. It's that subtle difference between massive success and epic failure, if you will. It's a little tiny things that don't seem to make a big difference in the act itself. But when you compound that act over a period of time, and a long period of time, moreover, that's when you see the difference. You see that subtle difference, take someone to incredible heights of success, or you see somebody go into failure. And a quick example of that would be just, brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth every day, that day you brush your teeth, your teeth don't all of a sudden start shining and you get to keep them forever, right? It's that maintenance, it's that consistency over a period of time where your teeth still look good as you age. Whereas if you don't brush them, it doesn't your teeth don't fall out the next day. If you don't brush them for a week, maybe they smell a little bit, but your teeth don't leave you. But over decades of that neglect, you end up losing all your teeth. Okay. Now success is the same way. We want to be creating successful habits. I heard a long time ago that successful people, Jesse, I know you're ready here. Successful people have successful habits.
Yep.
So one of the successful habits you and I want to partake in is doing this business. Okay. Being consistent with this process. So anyway, I see a lot of the thumbs up over there.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's funny that we have one going. We have that. We're watching ourselves.
We're watching ourselves while we're being videotaped on multiple devices.
Isn't this cool?
It's kind of fun.
We're watching us. We're in the Matrix, Jesse.
Yes, we are. So
And YouTube Live. Okay,
give us some hearts, give us some likes. So we want to get a ton of them, and we've got some great stuff going on here this week, which is awesome. And we want to welcome everybody. If you're online, my recommendation would be to make sure tag your agents right now, so that way they can see what's going on this. So let's get into just a couple things here before we get into some of our strategies that we have. We have this Wednesday night webinar that happens every single Wednesday night. This training, this platform, you're going to see some incredible upgrades, enhancements, things that are going to be happening on here that are going to be very, 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 very important for your business. But it's also kind of the connection. You guys have heard the telephone game where usually one person says it to somebody and says it to somebody and says it to somebody. And by the time you get 3-4 levels deep, it's totally messed up. And it's very similar in our business where you want to make sure you and your organization get direct access to communication instead of getting stuff secondhand, third hand. So as far as what's happening with Secret Elite, promotions, information, ideas, things that are time sensitive, things that are happening. So I know a lot of people have been very excited about our Secret Elite workbook. If you haven't picked up our Secret Elite workbook, secretelite.com, you can click right there on the workbook. You can pick it up. It's $10, okay? And it's a 90-page workbook, which is amazing. But on top of that, it has the scripts. It's probably my favorite thing in here of our entire Secret Elite program and system. This is what I'm making sure that every new agent has inside of our business. And then the 5 and Fly right now. I know we've got so many more people that are getting promoted or earning this contest of the 5 and Fly to cross the stage, as well as getting close to that $1,000 bonus or already earned that $1,000 bonus. And so, Josh, do you want to kind of touch on what it takes to qualify for this?
Well, the 5 and 5 is a simple, I think, a simple thing to understand and do and work towards. It's basically 5 transactions. It could be any transaction.
Yep.
Someone becomes a VIP customer, boom, that counts. Someone becomes an agent, that counts. And then there's a total of 3,000 in total volume that has to happen between those 5, so they can all add up to the 3,000. So, say for example, someone becomes a professional agent, right? They get a professional package.
Yep.
Of course, that comes with 1,000 in volume.
Yep.
Okay. And so you could have 3 people get the professional package, 3,000 volume. That knocks out the volume qualification. But then there's still 2 more transactions that have to take place. It could be any combination thereof, where it's someone becoming a customer and getting a lot of products, Jesse, or someone becoming an agent and also doing the same as far as a package load. But any time that happens, and between now and I believe the contest period runs to May 7th,
Yep.
That you're able to get the 5 and Fly down. Once 5 transactions take place, bam, you're walking the stage. When 3,000 in the cumulative volume happens within that 5 transactions, not only do you get to walk the stage at our secret convention coming up here in the next few months, at the end of August here, you get $1,000 bonus that's going to be awarded on stage at the convention. So that's going to be really, really exciting.
Absolutely. And so I apologize, I mistyped this. It says Thursday, but it's supposed to be Tuesday. So every single Tuesday night, we are doing our Secret Showcase Live on Facebook Live. And so, yeah, cover it up. So, but yesterday night, we had none of the Mr. John Malott doing the presentation. And it's crazy, guys. We're seeing the presentations, the amount of people and the views. We're getting like 20,000 impressions, thousands of views on this. And but we need your help, because every week we want to see this growing and growing and growing and growing. So that way, when you and your team get guests on there, they're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Because they're going to see the comments, they're going to see the feeds, they're going to see the likes. This is the easy way for us to kind of connect high tech and high touch together, where people can get a chance to communicate and share the love and spread the love of what Secret is. And this coming Tuesday, we're going to be back. Same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here's what I would recommend is if you're in a marketplace, I would recommend doing it as a live event. And here's what I mean is have everyone over to your house, 3 or 4 agents, invite them over, put your computer up on the big screen and watch the presentation with us like it's live, Rare. In 3, 5, you could get 10 agents together and watch it, because there's a power in that connection, in that community. And I know some people are saying, well, we don't have a presentation going on in our marketplace. Use your home-based business, invite some people over and have tons of events happening. But the other thing that I would suggest is this, same thing, tag, share every single person that you possibly can to get on this and start passing it forward. If we start getting 200, 300, 400 shares on these Tuesday night presentations, we're going to see not just the numbers go through the roof, but what's going to happen is that your guests as they get on are going to go, this is massive. I need to get involved right now. So I'm excited this Tuesday to share with you my story on the secret presentation this Tuesday night live, which is going to be awesome at 7 p.m.
Excellent.
Perfect. So plug into our system, guys. You know, we have our Secret Elite website, secretelite.com. You're going to see some incredible enhancements through this. thesecretsout.com / this Facebook page for you to be able to check out information. Make sure you get our app, the pro version of the app, secretapp.com. So text messages, Secret Elite to 94253. We'll make sure and put that in the thread here today. And obviously, if you haven't downloaded the app and started playing with the professional version of that, you got a little bit of time to be able to use that. We just came out of our ACT event, and for those of you guys that know, we've got incredible ones coming up. But Josh, I'm going to kind of cue over here to this presentation here real quick, where we're going to talk about how to structure your organization, how to build to maximize compensation for your team commissions, which I'm really excited about. So if you're ready, what I want you to do is I want you to type into the chat box. I want you to type into the comment feed on Facebook. You're ready. Type in, I'm ready. And let's see if we can get this thing flying, and we'll get this presentation started. So Josh, you are up, boss.
Okay. By the way, thank you, Jesse, for that. Guys, this is probably one of my favorite parts to talk about, because it makes such a big difference in what happens with your business, how it ends up looking in the long term when you start building this properly. You know, obviously we understand the compensation model, and for those of you who don't, please go through the literature and the material in the back office. But to kind of recap it quickly, we go out there and we help this company acquire customers. Very basic. You show the products, demo the products. You can talk about it online. You can talk about it on conference calls. You can talk about it on webinars. It's best to get in front of someone and show it to them, because obviously when they experience it and they feel it, they know it's real, they like it, and they can make a decision to buy. And when they do that, the company rewards you between 20 to 25% of the dollar in a commission. Okay, so you know, I help Jesse here get the products. Yep. He buys the product for whatever, $50. You know, I'm going to get 20% of that when I'm new, to 25% of it when I'm a bronze. Okay, that's what I get from the company sends in the product. They send me the cash. Okay, that's how this works. As we start to build the customer base, we're getting paid all sorts of different ways. We're not going to go through all that today, but obviously some of those people are going to want to learn how to make money. Some of them will say, hey, Josh, you made some money. How you doing it? Or maybe I approached him with the business opportunity in the first place. However that is, when he decides to get started, okay, we are building 2 teams. So I'm going to go through this real quickly. You know, this is structuring your binary. Now, again, this is illustration stories that will be used during the following presentation are purely hypothetical, okay, and are for illustrative purposes only. Making money in this business or any business opportunity is never guaranteed. Okay, I just want to make sure you all understand that. The results are based on individual efforts, talents, and abilities.
Well, that results are guaranteed. If you do nothing, you get nothing. That's guaranteed. Just
I guess that is true. Obviously, I have to put this disclaimer in there, because unfortunately, a lot of people in our business get started because they think they're going to get rich just by signing up.
Right.
Or some unscrupulous person misleads others saying, hey, just sign up and you're going to get rich. Obviously, that's not what anyone wants to do, or
right.
That's not a behavior that we condone here at Secret. So anyway, let's talk about the binary and how it works. If you guys can see this, there's you, okay? So this is you, and we want to talk about being active. What being active looks like is we're going to make a qualifying order.
Yes.
And that qualifying order, Jesse, is 35 in business volume.
Yep.
35 in it's business volume, right?
BV.
It's a BV. So basically $50 to $60. Okay, you want to do that every 4 weeks.
Yep.
That's what maintains your active status. Now, the other way to do that, of course, let me go back here. Go back. The other way to be active is to have 4
VIPs.
4 VIPs. I don't have it loaded up here, but 4 VIPs. So 4 people become customers. Those 4 people order a qualifying order within 4 weeks. You're qualified in that 4 weeks. Okay, and it just rolls, continues. So every 4 weeks that you have 4 people that are purchasing consistently, you don't have to buy a thing. Okay, but that's crazy, Jesse, because Obviously, if you like Secret, you're probably consuming the products.
Well, you technically have to buy. You're just using your free credit to buy, just so you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're not coming out of pocket anyway for it because you're using your free credit to purchase. Because some people think using your free credit, you're either going to be buying your 35 BV for your own personal consumption, for your sampling, for your demonstrations, or you're going to be using your free credit to get that 35 BV on your monthly basis. But one thing that I would suggest here, very important before you go through this is really important. Secret Elite family, I need your help with this. What we need to do is we need to get every human being inside the organization to make sure that your replenishments process on Monday. Okay, so process on what day?
Monday.
Monday.
In fact, type in Monday.
Type in Monday.
Type in Monday. But here, why, Jesse? Why Monday's important?
And the reason why is because we are on a 4-week rolling cycle for all promotions. So how you earn and maintain your ranks inside of Secret is based on a 4-week cycle. Now, our cycles go from Sunday night midnight, okay, to Sunday night midnight. So Monday morning technically is the start of the new week when the volume from week 5 technically falls off. Now, this isn't going to be training fully on this. You're just going to have to trust me and understand. For those of you guys that understand our compensation structure and our promotions, you guys are obviously, this makes so much sense to you, is what you want to do is you want to start the week off with all of your replenishments in your team, in your business going through Monday. So you have the rest of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday till Sunday to know how much more volume you need to be able to maintain and advance your next rank inside of your business, okay? So if you can get your customers, I know it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but if you ask your customers, hey, when you set up your replenishment, would it be okay to set it up on Monday? I'm sure your customers would be probably okay with that. If they're not, that's fine. But as agents, absolutely. When you set up your new agent, Secret Elite, every single person in the Secret Elite team has their replenishment go through on Monday, okay? So now my recommendation is this, is every single person should be on night and day. Every single person should be on nutrition, night and day, every single Monday, or not every Monday, every 4 weeks, okay? All right, so, but every 4 weeks on Monday, and then the skincare is extra of whatever it is you're buying. Now, really what should happen, Josh, is your customers that you have should be using your credit to purchase your skincare products, but then every 4 weeks, you've got your nutrition going to the system. Now, night and day is 100 in BV on it, so you can start calculating your promotions and your ranks, very simple. So when the Sunday night volume rolls off and the new week starts, you have your replenishments go through first thing that Monday, so that way we know where we're at. Monday, Monday, Monday.
So, and when you're in the habit of it, then you'll start teaching it. So if you're brand new, you're like, well, Jesse, I don't have a team. That's okay. You're your team. Yeah. Start with you, and as you start to build it, that way you can start to track your promotions. It'll be very easy for you to understand as we go through this, okay? Yep. The second criteria in building your business is being qualified.
Yes.
Qualified is very important. All this simply means is you have helped 2 people get involved in your business as agents, one on your left team and one on your right team. Now, we're in what's called a binary compensation plan. Simple, just meaning 2. Only 2 lines of sponsorship that we have to worry about. It's very important to understand this. And we're going to build 2 powerful lines. We have a left team and a right team, because it looks like that, right? This is the left and this is the right. If you're looking at it that way, that's why it's called that. And you want to build these teams. You want to have at least somebody in each side that is also active, meaning that they're doing what? They either have a 35 BV order every 4 weeks, or they have 4 VIP customers.
Yep.
Once you've done that, you're now active and qualified to earn commissions through team commissions, Jesse, through check match,
yep,
through all the other areas of our compensation plan.
Yep.
You can earn income not being qualified. The areas you can earn, which are just enroller bonuses or
personal sales.
Personal sales.
Yep.
The only part of the comp plan you can take advantage of until you're actually qualified.
Yep.
So let's talk about what that looks like.
Now, qualified, just so you know, another word or synonym for qualified in our compensation is STAR.
Right.
Okay. STAR and qualified are the same. Now, however, to earn team commissions, you must be qualified. You need to be active to earn personal commissions. You must be team qualified, meaning an active left and right to earn team commissions, okay?
Very important. Now, everybody has a sponsor, meaning a sponsor is someone who enrolled you into the business, someone who sponsored you in here to Secret.
Yep.
And your sponsor either put you on their left team or they put you on their right team.
Correct.
It's important to know where you are. Now, your sponsor could be like, someone who just joined the witness protection program right after that. That happens, right? They get all excited. They got you started and they bounced out and disappeared. And you're like, well, I'm still here. Where did my sponsor put me? Call the company. Mm-hmm. They will let you know which side you're on. You want to know for your purposes, not for theirs.
Yes.
Okay. It's important to understand this because this is how you're going to set up your binary build. It's very important in being able to build a very large organization very quickly if that's your desire. So find out where you're at, because you're going to want to know. Your first person that gets involved with you, you want to put on the side that you're sharing with your sponsor or your upline, okay? Meaning that if your sponsor put you on the right side, like this example here, then the shared side is what?
The right.
The right, absolutely, which is here. So the first person to get started, you're going to want to put on the shared side. Now, listen, it's important to understand this because our websites don't do this automatically. So you want to slow down to speed up, meaning when someone gets started, you want to manually do it, help them get involved, or at least once you know they're in, call the company and make sure that they're moved to the proper side. Okay, I know this sounds kind of crazy, Jesse, but this is going to make a big difference in your business.
Yep.
Make sure they're on the shared side. And if you're going into your back office, you can manually place them and enroll them there. If they automatically enroll, okay, then you can call the company and have them moved within 24 hours, okay?
Yep.
So that's 24, 48. 48 hours.
48 hours. But I mean, you want to call right away. I mean, if somebody goes into the system, that should be something you should be monitoring and paying attention to. I mean, very rarely does someone just randomly, break into your house, sign themselves up randomly.
Or just find your website online. It could happen, but you get a notification. And you only have to do this for the first 3. Okay. Yep. And then after that, you can set this up automatically. So let me illustrate. Cool. The second person goes on the other side, the qualifying side.
Right.
So you're building 2 lines of sponsorship, but the first one's going to go on the share. The second one that you bring in will be on the other side. The third person you bring in will also be on the shared side. And the reason you want to start to build some momentum, okay? And again, if you're a really strong builder and you're a professional in the space, you probably want to stay in a line for a while on the shared side, get that thing going. If you don't have a strong upline, and then go to the other side. But for 99% of you, just do this.
Yep.
After that, you can go into your back office. There's a little sprocket looking thing, like the settings icon, typically under your icon. Once you've logged in, once your profile picture, maybe there's a picture, maybe there's just a face there. But the sprocket, open that up, go to website settings, okay, and then go to binary placement and set it to lesser side, outside build. Okay, lesser side, outside build. It'll set there automatically, and then from now on, it'll just go to whichever side is less. Okay, I know that sounds strange. You want to kind of clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, very simple, guys, is your system is automatically supposed to do this for you, even if someone goes to your website and just signs up. Okay, so it's supposed to automatically do this, but just be monitoring it. So your first agent is going to go to your shared side. Second agent is going to go to your qualified side. Your third agent is going to go to your shared side. Once you've got those 3, go to your settings. Okay, go to website, and then you can select how you want your website to place your agents. So it gives you options. You can have it always place left. You can have it always place right. You can have it place on the larger side. You can have it place on what we call the lesser side. And when it means lesser side, it means that the side that has the least amount of volume going through.
For that particular week.
Exactly. So what it's doing is it's looking at your business and going, okay, to rank advance, you need to have even volume on both sides, right? So it's saying which side is the least, and then it's going to place your new recruits on that side, okay? Now, again, if you have a recruit coming in, you have their information, you can manually put them wherever you want, however you'd like, okay? So, however, one of the best things to do is go 1, 2, 3, and then set it to that lesser outside. Now, one of the things where you see outside is a very good point here, Josh. And I don't know, I'm sure you probably talk about this, but in terms of when you build at your organization, as you continue to introduce agents, obviously we're building, you want to have as many people on your level 1 as you can, which is your personal enrollments. Okay. Now you want to go out there and get 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 level 1 enrollments. However, as you introduce more people, of course, you can only have 2 teams in terms of your binary, which is left and right. So as you introduce more people, you're always going to be placing outside left and outside right. So you're not going to be placing on the inside. So you're never going to be placing on these inside positions of these. You're not going to place on someone's qualifying leg.
And that's a big warning. Big warning. Don't do that. Big red flag.
Yeah. So always going to place outside left, outside right. So that's an easy way to set it and forget it, and you're good to go and start building your business.
All right. So, 4th, 5th, whatever. Anyway, if, and that's a big if, because this doesn't happen most of the time, but if your sponsor places someone, and this is your sponsor's recruit, Again, there's sponsors building the left team and the right team also. Then thank God, right? Thank them. That's awesome that they did that. And this thing starts to build. Okay, understand that this person, their first person still is going to go on the outside, right? The shared side, because that's the side they're sharing with you. First person goes here at 1A here. You got it? Now, let's, and then of course it just keeps building. Things get happy when it happens like that. All right.
Yes, lots of happiness.
So anyway, so let's take the same example, move it up a little bit so we kind of give a real-time example of this. We're going to put names to it this time. That way it kind of brings it a little bit more at home. In this particular example, all these colors are the ones that you personally brought into the business.
Right.
Okay. As you can see, the light blue here, there's you. Your first person's Dan, let's say. Your second person's Cindy. Your third person's Jill, right? Because these two are now your stronger side, or the side you're sharing with your sponsor. The fourth person's Tony. Fifth person's Pat.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, Dan has brought someone in by now. Dan's qualified his spot. Your sponsors place some people there. So you're starting to get a little bit of a build that's happening. All right. You're going to be building. Now, your sixth person, again, these are people you're bringing into the business. And I want to share with you what this looks like. So let me back up for a second and say, you're going to be doing this on both sides of your tree, both sides of your business, but to create maximum leverage, you want to be communicating what you're doing. Because if you're out there just telling the story and all the things we've been talking about, you're out there sharing the beauty that is secret with everyone that you know, right? You're going and talking about it and doing it. People are going to start to get involved in the business. Again, you have to adopt this. If it's up to me attitude, and you're going out there and doing it. You're not waiting for someone else. You're not doing what most of these people do, Jesse. They go get two people in and they pray to God and hope that they go blow up and they get rich off those two people's efforts. That's not network marketing. That's something very different. That's like lottery. I don't know what that is, but that's not what we do. Okay. That's not how you become successful. How you become successful is by building a real business, and that's telling the story over and over and over again, finding customers and finding people who also want to find customers.
Yep.
In this process, here's what happens. You're starting to get people that want to say yes, I want to do this too. So I'm going to take this team as an example. Again, you're going to do it on both sides, but just for sake of time, I'm going to go through it this way. Cindy's in the business. When Tony gets involved, the first phone call after Tony enrolls and you place Tony here should be to Cindy. And it should be something like this. Hey, Cindy, you're never going to believe this. Tony just got started. Now, listen, you don't have to call him. But I'm so excited because I believe Tony is going to do incredibly well. Now, I don't say Tony's going to go blow it up. I don't say Tony is. I don't know what Tony's going to do. But what I do say is I borrow the beauty of tomorrow to pay the price of today, meaning I believe that Tony can make a lot of money. I believe Tony can do real well. I believe Tony's going to bring in some customers. I don't know what he's going to do, but I believe he's going to. And I say all the positive things that Tony and I had a conversation with. Obviously, if Tony got started, he's excited. So I'm gonna transfer all that excitement to Cindy. I'm gonna say, Cindy, listen, man, Tony's excited. We gotta get you qualified. Who can we go talk to? A lot of times people are like, all right, Cindy, go make it happen. Go qualify yourself. Cindy probably got started because maybe she's your friend, maybe she's your cousin, your sister, a colleague. She got excited for the moment, but life gets in the way. She's got her kids. She's got all these things going on.
Yep.
And because you and I are psycho crazy about this deal, we think they are too. No, they're not. She just got started. You need to give her an incentive and a reason to go get started.
Yeah.
Remember this. People are far more motivated by fear of loss than they'll ever be of hope of gain.
Yes.
I know that sounds crazy because a lot of us think, oh man, everyone wants to be rich. Everyone wants to have money. Not true. If that was really true, there'd be a lot more wealthy people.
Yeah.
The reality is we get what we absolutely have to get. And if we feel like we're going to lose something, we'll go after that and hold that, which is how we're wired, right? So I want to create some fear of loss. How do I do that? When Tony gets started, I'm like, Cindy, listen, we got to get you going. I don't want you to miss out on what Tony's going to do. Tony can do some great stuff. I don't know, but I don't want you to miss out. Who can we go talk to? I want to give her a reason. For the first time in her life, probably, she has someone on her team. She doesn't even know what that means.
No.
She's like, what does that mean? That means we got to talk to somebody. Now I have a reason to talk to someone. So I don't wait on Cindy. I keep going.
Yep.
I don't wait on Tony. I keep going.
Yep.
My fifth recruit's Patty. Where's my first phone call go?
Tony.
Exactly. Tony, you're never going to believe this, man. Patty just got started. Patty's a rock star.
Okay.
I believe Pat, and I say all the good stuff I can about Patty. That's important not to lie. Now, some of us, I know, I hate having to say this because Obviously, none of you would ever do that. But unfortunately, I've come across people in my career that just make crazy stuff up.
Yes.
And I don't think it's done out of malicious intent. I think it's because we feel we need to tell someone something or they're not going to get started. The truth is good enough. But here's the deal. Be excited about the truth. Talk about what could happen. Look, Patty's in. I believe Patty, she's hungry. She's excited. I believe she's going to do incredible things. Tony, who can we talk to? We got to get you qualified, man. I don't want you to miss out on what Patty's going to do. Who can we go talk to?
My buddy Mark. I think we got to talk to him. And
all right, cool. Let's talk to him right now. And I'm going to start engaging with him. See, now he's motivated to talk to somebody. Guess where my second phone call goes?
Cindy.
Absolutely. Cindy, you're never going to. I just got phone Tony. Tony's fired up. We're going to go see his buddy Mark right now. This is crazy. And you know why he's so fired up? Because Patty just got started. Patty's now on Tony's team, which is on your team. This is getting this stuff's happening. Who can we go? We got to go talk to somebody. I can't have you miss out on this. You feel the energy. You feel that the language pattern. And I keep going. Tracy. Now Tracy gets started. First phone call to Patty, so forth and so on. It starts to create this momentum and this energy. Sooner or later, someone's not going to be able to handle it. Sooner or later, they're going to freak out. See, sooner or later, Tony's like, man, I can't handle this anymore. And Tony, boom, brings in Joe. And where does Joe go? Of course, to the shared side, which gives me another opportunity to call Tracy and Patty and Tony again and Cindy. You see how this starts to create a synergy and an energy. When you do this right, guys, you can build a very big business very quickly because you're leveraging every person who comes in. Jesse, what I love about this is when Joe gets involved, right? We're still helping Joe. We're still working with Joe, but Joe has the ability to benefit everyone else who got involved beforehand. This is what's cool. So you're not just leaving these people out to dry. Yeah, they got in, and now you're building, and your effort and energy can be leveraged with everyone who previously gets started, which is important. Why someone wants to get started now as opposed to later, okay? Because as this starts to build and grow, of course, your right side's building. Tim from Dan all of a sudden got excited and he blew up a business. Because look, you're using these stories all over here too. Be a master storyteller. If you really want to make a lot of money, guys, the reality is you got to be able to tell good stories, spread goodness everywhere. Now, the negative stuff, and that comes, and I'm just going to throw this out there, Jesse. It's important to understand. You can never tell negative to any of these people. Ever. ever. Negative only goes one place. Boom, here, or up. Okay, that's the only place negative ever goes if you want to build a long-lasting organization and business. Our job as leaders is we take the negative in. Okay, man, I'm going to help us. We spin them to the positive, show them the future, and boom, bring that stuff up. Okay, if we can't handle it ourselves. But positive everywhere. And we start to breathe life into our business. This is vitally important. And it'll start to grow this way. Joe, now he's got Mike in. And of course, Mike brings in Nancy and John gets involved and Jacob brings in Tim and bam, this thing blows up and there's all sorts of happiness. And this is what happens in our business. So, anyway.
There's a lot of happiness. Here's the thing. For those of you guys, if you're having trouble seeing the names, don't worry about it. What I want you to get is get the concept, okay? You're building a left and you're building a right. As you introduce people down this line, you're going to be calling all the people that are what? Above them. Why? Because now they have someone in their business, okay, that has an opportunity to help them grow. And what's happening here in this situation is that now that they know, if they knew what to go do, they would go do it. The reason why they're not going out there getting promoted is they just don't know what to do. And so what we got to do is we got to be the people that go out there and make sure and connect with those right people. So building outside left, outside right. Make sure your first three, okay? First one goes to shared. Second goes to qualified, third one goes to shared, then you're gonna set your preference. Some of you guys are looking at it going like, if you have a question, you can call corporate. They can show you this. Be like, I was told I need to do this. They will help you out with this. If you're confused, make sure you get with your support team. But here's the thing. Don't be concerned about what to do with your 10th person until you get your first. Are you guys with me? So some of you guys are trying to get to calculus. Let's get addition down first, and then we'll move up, all right? And understanding this process. But what happens is it starts getting excited as you start creating momentum. I have heard, Josh, that there are two ways to build our business. One is fast. The other is painful. So in terms of this, is the faster you can build this, I'm going to tell you, the more exciting it is, because the compound effect of the excitement of everybody getting started because they're contributing to each other's businesses, it ends up being kind of this momentum that starts to build on it. It can create this incredible depth. Okay. So
yeah, and I want to, because just to bring clarification, these two teams, how we earn money, and I talked about in the very beginning, is customer acquisition, right? And then as you start to build a team, what happens is volume from all the customers that accumulate and all the agents that buy products and sell products, all this on both of these teams start to generate volume. We get paid on that volume.
Yep.
Okay. And it cycles. So it has to match. Now the good news is, what do the Koreans call it? I love it. It's 1 to 2 or something. It's 2 to 1. 2 to 1. It doesn't have to match equally. One side only has to match part way, the other side. So in this, the volume's 500 on one side, 1,000 on the other. Again, 2 to 1, and it creates a cycle match. And we get paid on that. That's why even all these people who had nothing to do with, say, these people had nothing to do with maybe Jacob, okay, or Mike or any of these people, they can all participate in that volume. That volume counts for them 2 ways: 1, to get paid, and 2, to advance. Okay, so it's very cool to understand that and why this is so powerful when you're communicating this information. Now, I didn't say that in that talk because most people don't understand it. You have to go into all the detail. You just have to get them excited. For the most part, most people realize, I've never had anyone on my team. What does that even mean?
Right.
Well, it just means something awesome can happen. Okay, look, man, let's get you qualified. Let's get this thing going for you.
Yes.
And people get excited about that. And they start to figure out all the other details along the way. So don't get so wrapped up in the details. Jesse, you're perfectly right when it's just understand the concept of the build. Okay, you're going to build, again, first person comes in on the side you're sharing with your sponsor. The second person comes in to qualify your position. The third person also comes in on the shared side. Your fourth person will probably come here. And then you're just going to build whichever side's less for that particular week. And your website's going to determine that they're going to go in, they're going to go there. And either side they're on, it doesn't matter. You're building both of these teams. You're communicating what you're doing because you're only building these outside lines with everybody.
Yep.
You're communicating. So even as this thing blows up, maybe now your ninth person comes over here. So where you were spending more time here, now this side becomes a bigger side. Now you're placing people over here. Jason is your ninth recruit, and you're going to communicate all that upline again, and you're going to just keep the cycle going.
I want to get a couple of ideas and concepts here in building your organization, what it looks like. So what I was heard a long time ago is your depth is your security, and your width is your prosperity. Depth is security, width is prosperity. And what do we mean by that inside of our business? Well, the deeper the roots of a tree, the stronger the tree, right? So, the winds come over because some people, their business is so shallow, so that one little thing happens, one little storm happens, and, the rain hits and all of a sudden, that tree topples down, right? So the depth inside of your business is how deep, meaning who introduced who, how many levels you have in your organization. Your width, okay, your width is what we call your enrollment tree or your enroller tree. So because here's the thing, one tree only produces so much fruit. So if you want a bigger harvest, you need to have more trees, but to have more trees that are secure, they need deep roots, right? So what are these lines of sponsorship? Are people you introduce. So in this particular case, although you're only building 2 teams, I get it, okay, you're building depth with technically, is that you, in this case, introduce Dan, you introduce Cindy, introduce Jill, introduce Tony, introduce Patty, introduce Tracy, introduce Jacob, introduce Jesse, introduce Jason. In this example, Josh would have 9 people across on his level 1, okay, to him. 9 people on his level 1. Those would be 9 potential trees. These are 9 seeds that have been planted, and our job is to create a deep root from each of those separate trees. So the wider you go. Now, for those of you guys that are interested in earning a 6-figure income inside of Secret, here's a simple formula for it. 20 left, 20 right. We call it 20-20 vision, okay? 20 agents on your left, 20 agents on your right. So that would be 20 that you have personally introduced, not from your team, 20 you've personally introduced on your left, 20 you've personally introduced on your right. Now people say, well, how can I do that? How is that possible for me to do that? I need to get 4, 5, 6. I'm maybe struggling with that. Here's the thing is presenting. Okay, Muzaffar talks about it at ACT. It's to go out there and earn that 6 figures. It's 4 to 5 presentations a week, 16 to 20 presentations a month for 24 consecutive months. If you did 16 to 20 presentations a month for 24 consecutive months, you're talking 480 presentations if it's 20, okay? It's a little over 400. So what that means is if your ratio of enrollment on agents is 1 out of 10, in fact, a little bit more than that, 1 out of 12. So if you sit down with 12, sign up 1, sit down with 12, sign up 1, sit down with 12, sign up 1, At the end of doing 16 to 20 a month for 24 months, you would have 40 enrollments, 20 left and 20 right. You would have your 20/20 vision. This is why we say, guys, numbers are your friends. Okay. Now, logic a lot of time won't be. And the reason why is because you just never know who's going to lead you to who. The names, the stories, the locations will change, but I can tell you that no matter what, it will be. I talked to a lot of people. I showed up. I had a no-show. Some said yes, and some said no. Most said no. A few said yes. Some said kind of. Some said sort of. Some said later. Some said all these other things. But I went through the numbers, and I found my few that led me to the many.
Absolutely. So like this business is one of the funnest things ever because the joy is in the doing for sure. And it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to lead you where. You'll meet some of your best friends for life. You'll meet people that will be extraordinary that not only will you be able to add value to, but they'll be able to add value to you. And you create this unbelievable synergy. And it's fun. It's exciting.
It is.
And it's rewarding because in this journey, you'll find people that will raise their kids differently. They'll add more value to the community because of your interaction, because of your ability to get out of your own way, put your own ego aside and say, it's not about me. Let me just go get this message out to as many people as I can and look for the ones that are looking. Guys, there's someone in your neighborhood right now. There's someone that's on your list in your phone. They're in your phone, and their name's there, and they're praying for an opportunity. They're looking, and they're not going to tell you that. They don't have a neon sign on their forehead, or it's not in front of their house, the big sign saying, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity. Most of the time, the people that are really looking, they look good. They smell good. They're dressed nice. On the outside, they look like they have it all made. And you may be scared to approach them thinking, oh, no, she'd never do that. Oh, he'd never do that. But they're screaming at one of the Michelle.
I was just thinking about the same
Michelle
thing.
Jones, man. Her story really hit me in the heart because here she was on the outside. Everyone looked at her as like, man, here's this executive. She's doing great, but she was looking for an opportunity.
She was sad.
She was sad.
She was sad.
She was sad in her heart.
She was sad.
And look, there's a lot of people out there like that right now. And if you just get over yourself, and that's the hardest thing. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I had to get over myself. I was so worried about what everyone was thinking about me. Oh, they're going to think I'm in this thing. What are they going to think about me? It's like, Josh, shut up. You're being a little boy. It's time to put that boy or that little girl in the closet. Put them away. They don't. It's time to grow up. It's time to go. You know what? This is my chance. This is my opportunity to make something happen. Make it happen in a big way. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find the ones because I know there's other people out there that are like me. Look at the chat feed. Look at some of the people at the events. They're out there. The question is, who's going to find them? Is it going to be you, or is it going to be someone else on this feed, or is it going to be us?
Yeah,
maybe us. Probably us.
Here's the thing I know without a shadow of a doubt. If you do this and talk to enough people long enough, consistently enough, it's inevitable. In fact, I'm pretty sure Joshua Denny wrote a book about it. It can happen for me.
It can happen for me.
And the reason why is because it really can. And I know we're trying to make light of it a little bit, but seriously, you I'm talking, yes, you right there. You can do this. You sitting in your house with your challenges, with your problems, with your lack of education, with your upbringing. Some of you guys are like, with your sponsor. Some of you guys are like, I have the best sponsor in the world. Some of you guys are like, my sponsor left a long time ago. It's okay. Mine did too. So in fact, I've never been sponsored by someone that stayed. That's okay. So the thing I can tell you is this. It's okay. Oh, thank you. So you're going to find, we're your sponsor. Secret Elite is your sponsor. This team is your sponsor. We are your support system here. And the thing that I can tell you is that if you plug in and do this consistently enough, it's inevitable. Just like Josh says, that if you do this, you're going to find the right people over a period of time, as long as you're doing it and you're working on you. The only difference between where you sit and where we sit is time, activity, and growth.
That's it. So we're looking forward to that for you. And guys, we want to take a few minutes for some questions maybe? And
sure, yeah. If anyone has any questions, let's pop out some questions here real quick.
Because I know this is a heavy topic here.
Yeah.
So let's change it back to the elite background, and let's go into some questions, guys. On just on Facebook or whatever platform you're on, just hit it up and let's get some questions going, guys, so we can help you out while we're here on this topic. I know, I guess if you have any question, you can do that too, but let's try to keep the questions of this particular topic so we can get them answered if we missed out anything. Thanks, guys, for all the love. I appreciate all the happy comments.
Yep. So also a good thing to do is what subjects are you looking for inside of your business, okay, that you would like to see more of on our webinars, and we can start including more of those subjects. So
yeah,
if you have a question or any subjects that you would like to see, that would be great. So looking forward to that. And there was a question on, is it available on Audible? My recommendation was this, is it'll probably be available at some point, but get the book, read the book. So, and the reason why is it's very different when the way we read and perceive information, because typically if we're listening to things, it's because we're doing other things. So when you read information visually, word by word, usually your retention is much different than just listening to it. Not that it won't be available, but you can't really highlight an Audible. Okay, you can't take notes on the Audible. You can't refer back to an Audible. You can't be like, oh, there was this thing he said at 36 minutes in that I really wanted to remember and say to that person that I'm working with as a reminder. My books are literally like, they're like my children. So I don't have any kids yet, but when they get here, they're going to be pumped. But for now, my books are like my children that I take care of and I show off like my puppy.
All right, let's see. The first question I had here is, what if you're placed on the inside leg of someone?
Perfect. I was. Fantastic.
Perfect. Look, again, it's not about where you were placed necessarily. You only want to know about whether what's your shared side or not. Build your business. Everyone always worries about what someone else is going to do for them. If you just go build a business, you're good. And you'll get the support and love here from Secret Elite. So I wouldn't worry much about that. Let's see. Will this be available to share?
Yep. Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's on our Facebook Secret Elite page. So facebook.com/Secret Elite. And our Secret Elite homepage, you can actually watch it, share it, send it, tag your agents, and let's get everybody on.
So we got Chantel says, having more on the left side with inactive agents, on the right side, what is the downside of this? Look, it doesn't really necessarily matter what's active, not active. It's your volume that you're looking for. There is good news in the fact that if there are inactive agents, you can always be communicating with them, especially if there's volume that's happening down below where they are, because they have the potential to reactivate. I love inactive agents, and I start calling them and telling them what's going on. They're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know. And you have the opportunity to reactivate some, if not all of those agents, especially if you get a hold of them. And then again, a lot of them they're just not going to do anything. And that's just what it is.
Perfect. Book is available, joshuadenny.com. Somebody asked.
Oh, yeah, my website is my first and last name, JOSHUADENNE.com. What we got here?
Yeah, I got this one.
Oh, you got this one?
Yeah, what you got over there? We got any others? This is cool. I like this. So what else you guys got?
Love this fire. Numbers are your friends. Everyone's just excited. You guys are awesome. I got to say, we are blessed to be able to work with such amazing and wonderful human beings. Thank you guys for all the awesome and amazing contribution that you bring to this family. This is just the beginning. This is really exciting. We're about to really go on a massive growth spurt, and you are going to experience something, in my opinion, that very few people on earth get to experience, which is momentum with an organization. And as long as you're out there really putting in the work, you're going to have an unbelievable ride. And I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. So we'll go over some more contact and inviting stuff here. I know Mary Ellen will get on to that next week, but in your back office, if you log in and go to your boot camp, I actually do the training on contact and inviting. And
it is quite awesome.
So you can see a little bit about some of the training that we have in the back office. But thank you guys so much. Let us know. Send us your feedback. Okay, send it to us personally if you've got questions, concerns, comments, criticisms, any of that kind of stuff. Because we're looking to make this thing fire for you guys.
What I would ask, if you have criticisms, please just direct message us rather than putting it out for everyone to see, because that's not fun. And if you can send it to us directly, typically it can be handled pretty quickly, and we are happy to help you out. We look for that. Again, remember, bad news or negative news or whatever, send that up to us. Let us help you with that. Positive stuff, put that all over everything so we can win as a family together.
Yep. And Diane, yes, if you reactivate somebody, they keep their place. They just have to do it within their year. So
yes.
Good stuff.
All right, we're all good. Let's see.
Massive love, guys. We'll see you guys on
Diamond Page for Stories. That's coming, Linda. Diamond Page for Stories is coming. Happiness is coming your way. We have all sorts of digital assets in the works. Just be patient. We're working on some stuff that's going to be amazing, guys. You're about ready to have some amazing experience. Anyway, we got to go. Love you all. Have a wonderful and fantastic evening. All right, let's see here. And broadcast.